After uploading my review of Sally Potter's Rage, I came to ponder Hamlet, one of the most acclaimed and beloved plays by, let me see if I can say his name right, William Shakespeare.
Shakespeare?
There is never a bad time to think about Shakespeare's works, unless you're reviewing Hamlet the Vampire Slayer, a crude frat boy parody like Obscurus Lupa and Oancitizen did recently.
Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper.
At supper? Where?
Not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are even at it. Your worm is your only emperor for diet. We fat all creatures else to fat us, and we fat ourselves for worms. Your fat king and your lean beggar is but variable service. 2 dishes, but to 1 table. That's the end.
Alas, alas.
A man may fish with the worm that hath eat of a king, and eat of the fish that hath fed of that worm.
What dost thou mean by this?
Nothing, but to show you how a king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar.
That's my favorite passage from Hamlet. Putting on the act of madness, Hamlet cleverly mocks King Claudius by remarking on how powerless even kings are to the food chain. Though I enjoy The Tempest even more, I still love Hamlet. This is a riveting story of a young man's disillusionment with love, women, friendship, and life itself, as he seeks revenge for the murder of his father by his villainous uncle Claudius. I briefly came to wonder whether Rage's method of telling instead of showing the action is all that different from Hamlet's narrative. Short answer, no, they're very different. Long answer, Hamlet is light years ahead of Rage. Whether it tells or shows, Hamlet is a play of unimaginable substance, but the film Rage is a static blank wall. It is true that the play tells us about the father's murder instead of showing it, unless you watch Branagh's film version, but this is done to great effect. In Act 1, Scene 5, the restless ghost of King Hamlet appears before his son and orders Hamlet to avenge him. Since the ghost accused Claudius of poisoning him in the gardens, we now know for sure that
Something's rotten in the state of Denmark.
Shakespeare was one of the greatest writers in the history of the English language and had an extraordinary talent for crafting beautiful, evocative verse. I have never seen a Shakespeare play in a theatre, except for that abridged version of Macbeth with hand puppets at the Melbourne Arts Centre, but I would love to sometime soon. I'm sure that the sight of the slain King Hamlet, dressed gloriously in full battle gear, yet at the same time spectral and threatening, would be just as darkly captivating today as it was in Elizabethan times. Shakespeare's flair with words and the morbid recollection give this scene immense power, even though King Hamlet's murder is never shown. The meeting between Hamlet and his father's ghost amplifies young Hamlet's resentment of his parents. Not only did his mother Gertrude marry Claudius after scarcely a month of mourning, thus dishonoring a husband she adored, but she is also marrying a murderous snake. The meeting gives Hamlet a driving objective, and since he and the audience are unsure if the ghost, who could be the real King Hamlet or a demon in disguise, is reliable, a subplot about testing the truth of the ghost's allegations is soon underway. Technically, we are shown King Hamlet's murder as Hamlet's play within a play in Act 3, Scene 2, which was designed to
Catch the conscience of the king!
And expose Claudius's guilt, reenacts King Hamlet's death. The play within a play has the desired effect, as Claudius rather suspiciously gets up and leaves, and later we hear him wearily admitting to his deed before prayer in Act 3, Scene 3. The encounter between Hamlet and his father's ghost may tell us about the murder instead of show it, but this scene builds on an earlier theme of resentment and is packed with such vivid language, intrigue, shocking revelations, and uncertainty about the truth of the ghost's words that this telling doesn't matter in the slightest. Compare this triumph to Sally Potter's Rage. All it is a bunch of people talking blandly in front of a green screen about events that aren't very interesting. That's it. Rage doesn't inject any life into its telling, whereas Hamlet is a supernova. Thanks for watching. Cheers.